What's good, YouTube? It's King K back again with another video, and today I'm going to be doing a part 2 of racism in Canada. So I did a video a while ago about racism in Canada and some of, the experience that I have had with racism in Canada, and I mentioned some examples in the last video, but in this video I am going to be mentioning some further examples, or rather an update since the last video. So a lot of people have the assumption that racism is not really prevalent in the Canadian society, and it's not really a thing in the Canadian society, but as you saw in my last video, if you haven't watched the video, I'm going to put the video on the description and you'll be able to go back and watch the previous video. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be talking about something that I experienced recently. So the other day, I went to visit a friend, and I was parked on the curb, the street curb of my friend's house. But before I went into my friend's house, I was on my phone, so I was just like replying to some messages as I had been driving for about 30 minutes or so. So I was just replying to messages and stuff like that. So I was there for like 5-10 minutes before I was gonna go into my friend's house. Lo and behold, I see this white man walking from his house, which is directly opposite where I'm parked, and he walks to my car and he knocks on my window, and I look up. I'm like, hey, is that anything wrong? Is there a problem? And he's like, oh, I noticed you were parked here for a bit, and I just thought that was odd. Odd? I was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for a friend right now. And he's like, oh, okay. In my opinion, that was kind of weird, but I didn't want to think too much about it. So I was just like, yeah, is there any issue? And he was like, no issue. I just thought it was odd. So I was like, okay, well, have yourself a nice day. And, he walked to the back of my car and he takes a picture of my license plates. And then he walks to his house and he's sitting on the porch and he's just looking at me still. And I'm like, okay, this is awkward, but I'm not doing anything wrong or anything illegal. I'm not illegally parked, or I'm not blocking his driveway. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna do my thing, and then I'm gonna see my friend, whatever. So I walk into my friend's house after that, and it just really had me thinking things like this. I don't see myself parked in a black neighborhood. It's never happened in a situation where I'm parked in a black neighborhood and somebody walks up to me and they're like, hey, you look suspicious, or hey, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? So this was kind of weird for me because obviously I'm a black guy with dreads and I'm parked in this neighborhood and I'm just doing my own thing. I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not causing any issues. I'm just parked in my car. I'm not blocking his driveway. I'm not parked in his driveway or on his property. So it was just crazy. So when he took a picture of my license plate, I was wondering why is he taking a picture of my license plate? What is his problem? What does he aim to get from taking a picture of my license plate? Does he want to send it to the police? Does he want to report it to the police? Or I don't know, or maybe he's just keeping it for record purposes, or I don't know what he was taking the license plates for. I mean, I could have been petty and reacted a little bit differently, but it's I didn't think it was worth it to get into an altercation or get into a back and forth with him, because clearly, in my opinion, he was probably bored. You know what I mean? For him to obviously walk up to me, because he wasn't the only one on the street. Other people, obviously, other people in the neighborhood saw me parked there. They didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? So it was he just felt he had the responsibility to come talk to me and figure out who I was and what I was doing there. You know what I mean? He's not the police. I don't know. Maybe he's part of the neighborhood watch. I don't know. But I also have to add, for the purposes of this video, that it was daytime. It was not nighttime. It was broad daylight. You know what I mean? So it was really weird. Like if it was nighttime, I might understand like why he might have been a little bit like suspicious or scared, but it was broad daylight. So yeah, that was one of the recent stuff that I have encountered lately in Toronto. But I started reaching out to people. Like I posted this experience in my story and I started reaching out to people, and people started to tell me also stories of similar things. Like, obviously black people started to tell me similar stories that they've experienced while being parked on a street, like that they don't live on, or, visiting a friend at a condo and like, they're trying to like get into the condo and people are like, oh, like, you don't live here, or what are you doing here, or stuff like that. Like, because, and it's usually like white people that do this, or like certain other like racist cultures that really like take it upon themselves to like stand out and call you out on the fact that you look like you don't belong somewhere. You know what I mean? So it's like it's crazy how that is still a prevalent thing in this city or in this country. So some friends have told me like they've also had like such racist things happen to them in the workplace, or like people just making like very weird commentary, or people just acting weirdly, or like overtly racist. I feel like racists are getting so bold these days. Like there used to be a time where like racism was a bit subtle in Canada, but I feel like it's getting way worse. Recently, it had been said like online that a lot of black people are actually facing difficulties in the clubbing scene downtown, especially on King Street. A lot of black women were complaining and talking about the fact that on King Street, like there's always some sort of thing going on, or some sort of racism in terms of black women entering the clubs, or how they're treated when they visit these establishments, or when they go to like these fancy restaurants. It's becoming more and more like mainstream, or maybe it's because more people are talking about it. I don't know, but it's becoming more and more prevalent in Toronto that you hear of these occurrences. Another thing that I also heard recently was that a lot of the condos downtown, it's harder for you to get rented to if you're actually black. They ask for way more things, or way more referrals, or way more checks if you're actually black and you're seeking to rent a condo or an apartment in certain areas or downtown. So I feel like that's another thing to put in this video to say. And I do hope that people actually like get on the comments and talk about this, because I want to know their experiences, if they've experienced such things themselves. You know what I mean? So do let me know in the comment section. It's very unsettling that we live in times where the color of your skin is still a problem, or the way you look is still a problem for people, and it influences the way they treat you and the way they perceive you. But there are accepting people. Obviously, Toronto is a multicultural place. Canada usually tends to be supportive of diversity and whatnot, but you still have these people that are still stuck in whatever like ignorance that they have, or biases that they have against other races. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's that. I just wanted to give a quick update to that video, and also get feedback, because I know a lot of people that commented on the previous videos that I did about living in Toronto and about racism in Canada. So I wanted to see like what other experiences, or what new experiences you guys might have had with racism in Canada as a whole. Yeah, because the pandemic definitely has changed a lot of things, and has made people a lot more aggressive, and a lot more angry and frustrated. So like it's starting to like permeate, or it's starting to show itself in various ways. And it's just it's really ugly out there these days. So yeah, you guys stay safe. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found this video informative. I just wanted to share my story with you guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments in the comment section, and I definitely do my best to reply to comments. Once again, it's been King K with this video. I'll see you in the next video.